That makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then I shut it off.
Did you hear Brad say
bye, viewer.
Oh,
it was probably me.
Did you hear Brad say on Friday night that he looked over and saw that I did not have my in-ear system turned on?
No.
So we did the first song.
I knew that you had it.
But he looked over and saw. So I was in the middle of the song.
What was he thinking? Like, oh, this is going to be a joke.
I don't know. But at some point I got a second where I could take my hand off, and I just reached down and flipped it, and I was like, whatever volume it comes to, it's coming to. And then
what time did you get to turn it on?
It wasn't too far in. Like, it was before. I'm pretty sure it was before the end where we held and did nothing.
Oh, okay. So before the third verse.
Yeah. So it wasn't too
Did you
far
realize it right away?
As soon as I started.
You realized.
As soon as we started
I was having trouble connecting.
So, yeah.
To you. I'm just joking. It's my watch.
Do you guys like my blanket? It is what's it called? The game?
I can't see it.
What's the game, Scott? Animal Crossing. It's an Animal Crossing blanket that belongs on my son's bed. And
it's down here.
It's down here. So
Jenn has been fighting migraine yesterday, today.
Hopefully not tomorrow.
She is here, but yeah. You look better than you did this morning.
Do I?
Yeah.
That's good. I can still feel it, and I'm still fighting nausea.
Yeah.
But I can feel like I'm getting better. Like, yesterday was a joke. So I'm a million times better than yesterday. But
high five, viewers. Welcome. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're here. Talk to us. Say something so we don't give up on you.
James went to drum lessons today.
Thanks, Scott.
He is starting a new song.
Oh, what?
Well, Scott said that he gave James 3 options, and the first option was something. It was something for sure, he says. Well, it was a song he recognized.
Yeah.
And then the second song, Yellow by Coldplay. And then the second song Scott didn't recognize. And then the third song was like, dum, dum, dum. Another one bites the dust.
Nice!
And Scott said before it even got to the lyrics, James was like, that one, I want that one.
Nice.
I want that one.
Another one bites the dust. Classic. That's a song that went off at Brian's uncle's funeral. Off somebody's cell phone. Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. I have to, every time I clip a page at school, I always want to be like, I always want to sing that song. And another one gone. Yeah. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, absolutely. That's funny. So at church, you were struggling during. Brian said, like, during the service, you were like laying down basically.
I was still upright. I was like this into Scott's shoulder the entire time.
Yeah.
Which I don't normally do.
Yeah.
Normally I hold my own head up.
No way. No way. No way.
Yeah.
So also last week we thought it was funny because Pastor Todd has requested that the worship team do a special song. Like, so they do 4 songs, kids are dismissed, and then another song that relates to the service. And last week he did not dismiss anyone, which was very funny. So they had to sit up there the entire time. And poor Shalana had to go to the bathroom. And you had other things that you were hoping to get done as well. So this week I just thought it was funny when I was like, special song. And
he's like,
we'll see what happens. But he did do it.
Yes.
Yeah. And he mentioned, like, last week I was like, made a joke about it. Then I realized that I forgot the special song.
Yep. Yeah. So we did it. We were going to do the version of it from the Friday night concert thing production, but I wasn't feeling 100%. So I was like, let's just do a regular version, which I think worked out well. Cause I do like singing the chorus of We Three Kings, but it was funny because he starts preaching and I'm like, he's not even preaching about the 3 kings. And like, it took like halfway through his sermon before he like connected it all in together. But I was like,
What was it on?
He was talking about welcoming the foreigner, basically. And he read from the scriptures where I don't know, I think it was like in Genesis, maybe not, I can't remember now, but like the foreigner comes into the town and nobody takes him in, and then this old guy says, well, you can come stay with me, and then like the men come and knock on his door and like, give him to me, we want him or whatever. And I was like, this is not a Christmas story.
It's not the wise men.
And then he talked about Ruth, and then and then he came in and talked about the wise men.
You need to just leave your bangs. It's fine. Don't obsess about them like other people do.
Like you? I just feel like there's a big gap here. There is.
But then people don't. Oh, that's your camera side. Yeah. Oh, people are so distracted by
it. Anyways, yeah. So he did tie it around together, but it was just funny because I was just sitting there thinking, where is this going? And then and then I felt bad because the song at the end, it wasn't the right lyrics on the screen.
Yes.
So
well, that's what they were. They were like, "What is it?" And Brian's like, "He had I exalt thee up there, but they must have mashed two together." And I was like, "What?"
No, I sang I will exalt.
And so I looked on service and I was like, "No, that's I will exalt." Like, we haven't done it in a while, but it's a really nice song. And Rosemary's like, "Yeah, it was beautiful." They weren't familiar with it, but I was like, it was right there in services. So I don't know what it was.
I know, because I said to Brian, I said, they're not even called the same thing. The one that they had was I exalt thee.
This is I will
exalt. So
yeah, the person just must have assumed that
and I can see it. It's like there's so many songs that are similar.
And then I say, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that was what it was." So, anyways, I think it's a really good song. But so we had the production Friday night. And everything, like, besides the Friday before and Miss Rhino Jenn and Mr. Rhino Brian
having a misunderstanding
and me in the middle. And finally I just went and just stared at him. I was like, could we just not? And it, like, from them doing that, I was doing pretty good, and my energy just went woo, and like, yeah, I was toast.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yep. When Brian says, "You want to play that game?" I'm just like, "Oh, we're done. We're gone. We're gone."
I was like, "Oh, we're playing a game." I was like, "I didn't know we were playing a game."
You know what he meant, though.
Yeah. Well, I knew what he was implying, but I was not trying to play a game.
And then Scott was like, "Yeah, I was already like with my phone," and then at that point, I just kind of went even more with my phone. Like, I couldn't. I was right in between them.
I was like, at that point, I was like, "Oh, this is not a conversation."
No.
I was like, "I'm not talking anymore." Okay,
he's defensive now. But yeah, so that was fun. But other than that night, the whole week, I know report cards were very hard, but practice-wise and all of those things went very smoothly.
Well, and even like the kids kept saying today, "Oh, Mom's been stressed all week," and I was like, "No, I actually was not stressed at all week long. No stress. I was exhausted.
You were tired.
I was very tired, but I wasn't stressed. I felt like I had everything under control. Like, even when I was behind in my report cards, I never felt like I can't get it done. I just knew, okay, I have to focus. I have to get it done. I was very determined and focused, but I was really pleased that I really actually do think that I managed my stress really well.
Yeah.
I just was physically exhausted.
Yeah, I was just very thankful. I was saying to somebody, was like, I think that God just allowed that to be a really, really smooth production, because we've had nights where we're there till 10:30, and it was nice to have like a refresh. Like, it's not that that's not going to happen in the future.
No,
we push ourselves, things, whatever.
But and we're always trying new things.
Yes, but I was like, it was nice to have a really smooth one, as just like a, like on the Thursday night, being able to go home. Well, we were done at 8:30.
Yeah,
we didn't get home until 9:30 because we were cleaning up and stuff. But like on the Tuesday rehearsal, I didn't even do anything. I just left. Like, I was like, I'm done. Like, because it was like 10 something, or I don't know, or just before 10. But it was
was probably the hardest night. Like, James was there and he was crying, and like, it was a rough. It was just late, and the kids weren't prepared for it, and
but I thought
Overall, it was really good.
Really
Yeah.
went well. And
It was a blessing.
And the night of, and it was just so, we've said this, but it was so nice to have the choir.
Oh yes, the choir was so cool. I really liked that.
Very nice, and I would really like for that to keep going because that was good.
Mhm.
And then so we were laughing because one of the songs you made a mistake.
With We Three Kings.
Was it We Three Kings?
Yes. Yeah. Because I never knew it. So I never knew when to come in. And so like it was an awkward time to come in, but I was like, I made it. And then at the end, I was supposed to lift my foot off the pedal, and I did not. And I guess I wasn't thinking.
And she made I don't like a face or whatever.
That's probably what I did.
And our friend Christine loved it. She was like, that was like favorite because it was just
spotlight straight on me.
Straight on, and Jen makes a face, but
broke character.
But it reminds.
I'm also used to being hidden behind the piano stand, and we had that down, so I got to adjust.
The computer with not having like for lights and stuff, was it easier?
I think so. Yeah, I was really glad that I could still have the sheet music and the notes. Like, I'm really glad I waited to the last second to put all your notes them up because we're constantly making notes to the very last minute. Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it worked. It worked really well, and it was nice because it was big. Like, I would not have wanted to do that with an iPad, but with my computer, it was okay. And
I really appreciate it. Like, this is, I think, the second or third one that I've used the iPad with. And I've liked it because before I'd have to fiddle with the lights and I could still see through some things. And yeah, it's just nice not have to worry about it. There's something else. Oh, it reminded me with your face of the week before. I was supporting a friend. She was leading worship and I was playing the piano for her. And I started it wrong and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then like made a face and did, "I'm so sorry." And we have our bass player always bugs us. Like, just don't make faces and don't make noises and don't say you're sorry. Just keep going. But it just comes out. And especially when, like, I think I'm better if I'm leading and during practice, I'll be like, "Oh," or whatever. Yeah. But it was harder when I was supporting somebody because I'm like, it's not just me. It's like, I don't want to mess up for her as well. But and that Sunday, I'm like, I don't even want to see the video of how my face was because I was like super focused. I didn't even sing because I'm like, no, like I want to like be focused. I don't know if I told you, but one time I played for the first Noel for one of our teens up north, and I wasn't singing. It was the first time I was accompanying someone playing the piano for them. I was playing, and during the performance, my arms started going like tingly and numb. I forget what else. Like I had like my legs and my arms were going like tingly weird. My breath, like it was hard to breathe. There was something else. Oh, and they were getting cold. And the fire chief at the time, was like, your body was literally going into shock because I was so like, oh no, mess it up. And it was like the Noel was like, do, 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 do. Like it was like that.
Oh, it was like that, like the Oh Holy Night.
Yeah, Oh Holy Night. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, was it Oh Holy Night?
Oh Holy Night. So I was like you don't want to mess that up. Like you get.
That's the first song I ever played for an accompaniment too. I played it for Belinda. No, but it was terrifying. It was terrifying. That is not a fun song to be your first song to learn accompaniment. Oh man.
Yeah. And do you know how hard it is to play when your hands are really cold and you can hardly feel them anymore?
It's really hard.
Because I was just like, I was like, I started sweating.
That's so funny that we both had that as our first.
It was the first one for you too.
First one with like no band, just me and a singer. And I was like, and I just felt like there was so much pressure. And I was like doing the best I could. And
everything. Did you make a mistake?
I'm sure I made lots of mistakes. She never asked me to play again. She found a track from there on end.
That's funny. I didn't make mistakes, but did she do like a long version of the song?
I don't remember now.
We just did the run through, but what?
Bring your mic closer to you. Because I'm sucking my mic here. Well,
is this close enough? We'll see. Okay. There's that. So, You had a migraine yesterday, were tired and not feeling well.
Oh, so sick.
I thought I was doing pretty good. I slept in. I slept in and I woke up and I was like feeling pretty good. Like it'd be nice if we could do like something as a family together. So Brian was doing sound stuff in the morning. We had practice at 1. And so I was like, well, like the kids have had gift cards but we're busy. So they have had these gift cards. Micah since June. Cadence, I don't know when. It could have been last Christmas.
What were they for?
Cadence, $50 for Walmart. Micah,
nice.
$30 for Toys R Us.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, okay, they can go and spend their gift cards. And I know relatively what they're getting for Christmas, so they don't have to do that. And Micah didn't have like a Christmas wish list or anything. And like uncles and stuff have been asking. So I was like, he can tell us some of the stuff. He's interested because like Cadence will look on Amazon. She doesn't have an account, but we'll look and find stuff versus he doesn't do that, right? So we leave the church. We go home. In the vehicle, in the driveway. No, before we left the church, something happened. And I was like, guys, like, I don't know what I said. And then we go to the house. Michael was whining, whatever. And I was like, stop whining. And then Cadence and them go inside to get the gift cards. Micah comes out back first and he whines it with something. I'm like, stop whining. I was not very
and no like red flag that like this might not go well.
There was, but I was pushing through. I was unwisely pushing through. So then I apologize. It's my first apology. I had gotten frustrated with Cadence at some point in there as well. Then we go. Brian's like, it'll be fine. It'll be good. I was like, okay. He's like, it's better than us sitting at home. I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's true. Good.
Is it better than you sitting at home?
Then we go through Tim Hortons because Brian has a gift card. Yay! We get this. It's fine. They mess up an order. So we like wait a little bit longer because there was a misunderstanding. Emerson's there. Hey, Hendrix. He gave us free Timbits. It was like great. Drop them on the floor, but it was funny. It's fine. Hand them to us. Brian, like kids are like, can I have this, whatever? And he like goes, just give me a, like he's getting stressed, right? Like something. I don't know what. He had icing on his hands, and I was like, oh, and then that caused stress. And then we're like pulling by, and then they like do something. I'm like, I don't even know what I said. But they knew I was upset and frustrated. And then I sat there like with my arm thing going for a few minutes. But I got it together, I thought.
Yo, so you haven't even left Napanee yet. Oh my goodness, this is only going to get worse, isn't it? Oh my word.
So then we get on the 401. Something happens between Tim Hortons and the 401. I don't know what. I'm like, if this keeps up, we're just going to go to Costco and come right back home. And then, I know. Okay, so Micah needed help with something. So I go in the back to help him. And then Cadence is like, can you open my drink? I can't get my drink open. Can you open my drink? And I was like, yeah, just a second. Just a second. Cadence, wait. Just a second. I am helping Micah. I will be there in a second. So then when I do, and then I go to it, she's like, never mind. I'm like, that's so annoying. We're in the truck driving, and I'm talking to them about all of their issues and why, like.
This sounds like such good family time.
Oh man, this was not a shiny. I'm so thankful my family is gracious with me because this was not my moment to shine. So I'm sitting there, like, you get all stressed out. Just like 2 minutes is not a big deal in a drive-through. And then I'm like, and Micah's whining. And I'm like, we've been at the church all week. So I thought, hey, let's do something fun as a family. Let's go to Kingston. All he does is whine. And then Cadence asked me, like, I'm saying this is awful. Cadence asked me, like, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? And I'm busy. And then I go to do it. And then she does. I'm like, that's so annoying. And at this point, I'm crying. Driving down the 401. And Brian's like, just, it's okay. It will be fine. I look back. Has her head under her coat.
I'm sure she
Laying
does.
on the seat. She ended up falling asleep, which is probably good. Mike is just looking out the window. Brian, at one point, I see Brian going this because he's laughing. He's like, it's fine. You're probably tired. I'm like, I'm not tired. I don't feel tired. I'm like, I'm doing quite well as I'm crying.
I'm so good. Oh, man.
So then there was just like, I don't know. It was, we had good moments.
Yeah.
But after, like, when we got to Kingston, and I was like, okay, guys, just want to apologize again. And then as I'm apologizing, Mike and Desmond are like, stop it! And then I'm like, I'm sorry for that too.
I can't hold it together any longer. Just be quiet.
But we did it, but there was still a few moments here and there, but they knew I was starting to realize I was tired. I was starting to accept the fact
that you're tired.
And by the end of the day, Mike and I were very tired, and Cadence and Brian were tired probably, but yeah, it was a day.
It was a day.
It was a day.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And then I was saying how I was actually telling Rosemary about this. And today I was like, I'm going to nap. And Brian's like, I need downtime because yesterday he went all day long, which I was like, fair. So I'm telling Rosemary this story, and I went home and had a nap. And then I told you about my dream, which I thought funny. I don't know if it'll be as funny now, but I was dreaming. What was the start of it? Oh, I was dreaming that we were in Sunday school and I was supporting down there. And
But you weren't supporting. You were like snapping.
So I was like snippy and like impatient, like, oh, like I was yesterday. And a leader kept putting her hand like in front of my face, and I'm just like, stop, like, and I like pushed it out. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, you're being very snippy and crotchety with people and stuff. And I'm like, and then I turned to our friend Shalane. I was like, this is a dream if you just come in here. And I'm like, am I? And she's like, yeah, you are. Like, is it like kind, like whatever? And I was like, so I apologized to the whole Sunday school, and because we just come off of production, the whole band and choir and everyone was
We're
there.
down there in Sunday school.
I was apologizing to them too. And then I like go up onto the bleachers because that's what we were doing with choir.
Bleachers.
There was bleachers, like risers, but bleachers. There were bleachers,
yep.
And that's what we were.
All right.
And like I remember Scott there and you there and like people there, and I'm like standing there, and then something happens, and then I'm like, and people kept looking at me like, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. Like I like apologize for this whole thing. And then we were driving in a vehicle, and the kids and I, but it was kind of like a side by side of a vehicle, and then they were like bickering back and forth. So I like go off the road. This is a dream. Again, if people are just I'm nervous, people are coming in. And I'm like driving on train tracks and beside train tracks. And I'm like, look at how dangerous this is. Like, you guys were so bickering and stuff. Like, I couldn't pay attention to the road. And now like we're in this like really super dangerous situation. And
was
like
everybody from Sunday school in the car?
No, it was just my kids and me.
Oh, okay.
And so, come on, Jen.
I'm sorry.
Gonna take everyone there.
Well, I don't know. It's your dream.
So then we're driving, and then it's kind of like we're more on like a four-wheeler or side by side, and we're kind of behind the church, and then there's like darts going, and I'm like, what's happening? Like, are they trying to shoot us? And they were going on a bear hunt.
Going on a bear hunt.
In readiness, we've been going on a bear hunt in gym.
Oh, yeah. When I was supplying in the 7-8 class, it was on a Thursday, and your class went on a bear hunt, and I was like, oh, they're going on a bear hunt, and all the kids are like, what? And I was like,
you're gonna catch a big one.
Can you hear the music? You're going on a bear hunt.
They love it right now.
Oh man,
yeah, they really like it. So
crazy dreams.
Yeah.
I hope I can go to sleep tonight. It's hard when I've had a migraine and I've spent like over 24 hours in bed. It's hard to go to sleep. But
do you still feel tired though?
Yes, and my head still hurts a lot.
So you might be able to rest.
I hope so, and I hope tomorrow I wake up good.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I think I have stuff written down, but like nothing makes any sense for anybody else to come in. So like I'm prepared enough for me to be able to just walk into class, but I would not be prepared for someone else to walk in. Yeah. So, fun times. Fun times.
I think you'll probably be better by tomorrow.
It should be. I like the fact that I got up to go to church today. Like those are big.
And even right now, like yeah, it's big. So we have said a few times, which we're excited about, that how we usually during production time we end up eating out a lot.
Yes.
And
way too much.
So like the past few weeks we had been talking about like meal planning and budgeting and stuff, and we did a really good job this production. Did we even eat out once?
I don't think so.
So now we're very thankful that we had somebody who made us 2 meals, which was kind of neat. They had said we made 2 meals, one for each family, split it up as you wish. But the meals were so big that it fed both of our families. Yeah. So we both like a meal Tuesday and Thursday,
which was huge because those were the big nights.
And then we were able to plan out what we were having on the other nights, and it was really good. And then my mom blessed us today by getting us supper, which was very nice. And yeah, so I was really,
we've been taken care of.
Really proud of us, and I was thankful, and our bank accounts are probably thankful as well.
So thankful, especially this close to Christmas.
Yeah, so I thought that was good. And now
it's time to focus the shift to Easter. I know she sent a message like, should we start planning out practices for Easter? And like, LOL. And I said to Brian, there's no LOL about it. Like, Easter's at the end of March. We better get started soon.
Yeah. Well, the start of February, we'll have to.
Oh my goodness. Like the end of January.
Yeah, we started more like mid-November this year. It would be nice to the second week of November.
The more earlier you start it, then the less you have to be at the church every single night as we get closer.
Which I definitely agree. And I do think we have one song that we know already.
Oh, good. But I may not even be a part of the band.
That's true.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We have to find out what the script is and where he wants everybody.
Yeah. What is that song?
Now we're just sitting here in silence.
Rattle.
Oh, he wants to do Rattle?
I think so, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. I think I told you, but I thought it was really cute. I don't know if I told Scott, but we were driving home from speech, and Micah said to me, Mom, does the man always have to be older than the girl? And I was the woman, he said. And I was like, no. I said, like, for marriage? He's like, yeah. I was like, no. He's like, oh, okay. Because Leah is a couple months older than me. We're both 7 right now, but she turns 8 in April, and I don't turn 8 until June. But it was so sweet. I was just like, oh yeah. Yeah, no, you don't have to be like, the man can be younger or whatever. But I was like, I never want to encourage, but it will be really unique to see where their relationship goes. Cause like from a young age, like I was
they've always had a connection.
They've always had a connection. I was saying they went to Readiness together, and we have a video. Amanda and I are walking behind, and Micah and Leah are there, and she said something. He's like, it's okay. And then he like puts out her hand, and they like hold hands or whatever. And then like, we have another video. We're at like a falls thing, and they're sitting on the rocks, and Leah's just like talking his ear off, and he's like listening, and then he like points something out, turns, she looks at it and stuff, and then they're coming back, and he gets up on the rock and then like puts his hand out so she could step up onto it.
Oh, so sweet.
It was very sweet. And they've always just had, yeah. Anyways, we'll see. Oh, and she used to call him Micah my true love. She doesn't now, but she signed his birthday card, not this past year, but the June before, signed it to Micah, my true love. And he has all these guy friends, right? And like Leah that he invited. And like I kept saying, make sure Leah's included. He's like, I am, Mom. I'm taking care of her. I was like, perfect. Anyway, so they're sitting here and say like she's here, and he opens or get here. I don't know, whatever. Ugh, doesn't matter. And he reads it, or I read it, and he goes like the sideways, like that. It was so cute.
That's
just
funny.
like that sideways look, and
That's
just
funny.
like
My
you.
mom is 2 years older than my
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah, that's actually I was thinking of that when he mentioned that, but yeah. So we'll see where that ends up. But
Well, they're only little.
they are only little, but it's very cute. Very cute. But Shalana was saying, oh, they'll either love each other or hate each other. I'm like, yep. Could be that, but
that's funny. So
I don't have anything on my list.
I can brag about Renee for a second.
Sure.
She got a report card and her average is 93.
Wow, good for her.
And that's with like more than half of her subjects modified to a grade 7 level.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was
Very
like,
cool.
that's pretty cool. 93 is her
Good
average.
for her.
Yeah. I'm really excited for her.
Very cool.
I thought it was really cute because James looked at his report card and he was like, what's the ACC mean? And I said, oh, that means accommodated. It means we help you. So he's not accommodated any of his academic subjects, but just like social and character development and whatnot. Yep. And he was like, and that you don't get a grade in, you get like a level, like doing well or needs improvement kind of thing. And he's like, so you help me to achieve the levels that I get? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, so then like, if I'm getting a 3, it's not really a 3. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And like processing out that like, but I think that's a good start towards him, like being self-aware and maybe it's so hard learning some self-control, but being self-aware is helpful. And like Renee had like the opposite experience because she technically I think could be accommodated in like relates to peers, but I said we might as well not do that as an accommodation because like there's no point in giving her like a fake level 3 when
I think that's a really good spot for Renee because she like to not be accommodated in that because she's going to be going off to high school potentially.
Yeah.
And so there still needs to be that like even and she would recognize too like, oh, that's an area I need to work in, right? She's old enough to handle that. And versus James, I think it would be just too confusing. Like, what do you mean I don't relate to my peers? Like I think like with his level of autism as well, it's kind of more confusing. I think.
She's older and so I just thought it was really interesting because she kind of processed that out. Her mark was a little lower and I said, but I think it was like a 2+ and I was like, that means you're approaching level 3. Like, I mean, it's not, I think 2 is like good and 3 is like, I'm like, it's not a bad mark, but we would like to see that's an area that we can work on. Right. And I think it's good to have goals as to, we all have things that we do well. And then like, okay, well, what can we do to improve in other areas, right? Absolutely. So good. So it was a cool report card time.
Very cool.
And now we're into term 2 and Christmas rehearsals.
It's happening.
Yep.
I am glad, like I'm looking forward to next year when our church banquet will be in November again. And then the presentation, and then you have like that week or so before Cornerstones. I think it's nice to have it spread out.
Yeah.
Which is nice. But we were saying we're really proud of Cadence with staying home tonight.
Yes.
And you're proud of Brittany. I'm going to be proud of my daughter.
You better be proud of your daughter.
Anyway, so she stayed home tonight for like, she's been home for like 5 minutes, but this was probably like 20-ish minutes. She just kind of needed some time. So we let her stay home and, but she could still call me like with Kids Messenger. So when Scott and I were going over to get her, I was like, because Micah was concerned, like, what if she like eats all the candy or like, I'm like, well, she doesn't like a lot of sugar. And I'm like, I expect like if you're alone and you want to kind of feel like, oh, I can like whatever, like be independent or whatever. it makes sense to me that they would grab like a couple candy or treats or whatever.
Yeah.
I keep saying whatever.
And now she's sorry.
So, I said, but if I did come home and there's like 10 or 20 wrappers, then you've lost my trust for the next time. Like, it's not, we're going to have to start at square one again. And when we were driving over, I'm like, I'm guessing she's made like a fancy drink or something. Cause at night they'll ask for fancy drinks. So I just put like ice cube, any fruit that we have, water, juice, and a straw, and the fancy drink. And so I'm like, I'm guessing she made herself like a fancy drink, maybe with bubbly or something, not just water. And then I came in, she's like, yeah, I made myself a smoothie. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And it tastes good. Like she did a really good job. So she did banana, raspberries. I don't know where the raspberries came from. I don't remember having raspberries in my fridge. I don't know, but it still tasted good. Grapes, banana, maybe I said banana, and milk. And and she got out like the Ninja and stuff from the cupboard and did it. But I was like, oh, where's the blender? Because I was like, what did she use? And she's like, oh, I put it away. And I'm like, in the cupboard? I was expecting to be like dirty in there. She's like, no, but it was in the sink. And she's like, and I cleaned up my space and stuff. Like you could tell she had wiped down the counter and everything. So I was very proud of her, and I know she was proud of herself. And
that's good.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Good habits.
Yeah. So, and I think it's nice because before it's more like she's been nervous to do it.
Right.
So for her feeling confident to do it is cool.
It's very good.
You okay?
Nope.
So, should we say goodnight?
We should say goodnight. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye.
It was a quiet night.
It was.
But I'm not sure what will happen next week. Next week, I'm celebrating my sister's birthday.
Right.
So we'll see. Well, hopefully we'll be next week. And then probably not the week after that, though.
Okay?
That's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
All those things.
We'll
see.
I'm going to go with probably.
I'm going to say we should, because if not, I'm not prioritizing your life.
Well, maybe over the break we could do not a Sunday.
That sounds good.
So, well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye.
I'm going to bed.
I'm going